Hello and welcome to the St. Vincent College Mathematics Information Session. We're so happy that you could join us today, and we hope that this session will provide you great insight into the wonderful opportunities available in our math department. My name is Christina Andre, and I'm one of the Associate Directors of Admission here at St. Vincent. Joining me today, we have Dr. Daniela Arcara, Professor and Chairperson of our Mathematics Department. We also have Maggie Nelson and Anna Coletti, who are alumni of St. Vincent and of the Math Department, and Zachary Schuler, who is a student, soon to be alum, of St. Vincent. The first part of our session will be Dr. Arcara presenting an overview of the Math Department. Following that, the second session will be a Q&A portion in which Dr. Arcara and our other panelists will answer questions. And we encourage you to submit questions at any time. You can do that by using the Q&A button that is located at the top or bottom of your screen, depending on the device that you are using. Thank you again so much for joining us today. And at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Arcara.
Hello, everyone. As she said, I'm the chairperson of the math department, and I just wanted to share a few things about St. Vincent and the math department before we open it up for the Q&A. First, a few things about St. Vincent that you will see on our website if you go take a look. So there are a lot of things we're proud of, and these are some of the statistics that we think that in the math department, in some of these, we do even better. For example, as far as St. Vincent goes, 90% of faculty hold the highest degree in their field. But in the math department, all of our full-time faculty has a PhD in mathematics, and even one of our non-full-time faculty does. So we're 100% there. Student-to-faculty ratio is very good, and 99% of our graduates are employed doing service or seeking advanced degrees. Here are some pictures of our full-time faculty, including Brother Norman. I'll say a few things about him in a minute. So the first five that you see here, myself, Dr. White, Dr. Borselli, Dr. Damnich, and Dr. Liskey, are the five full-time faculty members. And I'm the oldest, and the other four are very young and all recent PhDs, which means that we have a really nice, energetic department. We all use, techniques in our classrooms to engage students. We're very friendly. We spend a lot of time with students. We're in our offices helping them, and all our offices are in the same area. Brother Norman used to be the president of the college until last summer when he retired, and since he has a PhD in mathematics, we gave him an office in the math department. So he only teaches one class, but I consider him full-time because he's there all the time. So students can also go to him and ask him questions and get help on math or anything related to St. Vincent, since he has been there his whole life. So, but he's also an alum of St. Vincent. Here is a list of our programs that we offer. We have a Bachelor in Science in Mathematics, Bachelor in Arts in Mathematics. Those are pretty much the same, except that the Bachelor in Arts requires fewer courses than the Bachelor in Science, which allows some students to double major in mathematics in some other areas. We have a Bachelor in Science in Mathematics Education. We have a 3-2 program in Math Actuarial Science, where students spend 3 years at St. Vincent and then 2 years at Robert Morris University. And they end out with 2 degrees, one from St. Vincent in math and one from Robert Morris in actuarial science. And then the last 3, they're not really hosted in the math department, but they're offered at St. Vincent. They're kind of combined majors. There's Bachelor in Science in Economics and Mathematics, which is very popular, a Bachelor in Science in Finance and Mathematics, and then a Bachelor in Arts in Math Engineering, which is also a 3-2 program where students spend 3 years a year and then go somewhere else for 2 years to finish off their engineering degree. One thing that we really like about our math department is we have a nice big math tutoring room. So this gets used for a lot of things. And first of all, we hire some students who do well in our calculus classes to just tutor other students. They will each have hours. We post the hours, we advertise them around campus. And then anybody who's taking a low-level math class up to calculus 3 or differential equations, linear algebra. They can come in for help at any time and ask for help. It's also a nice place to study. There are computers there the students use to type up papers and whatever. There's 3 large classroom-sized blackboards where you can write out problems. Some of the people here on the panel can tell you about our real analysis nice study sessions last year and things like that. So it's a nice place. My office is right next to it, so I like to take breaks and go out there and check things out, see how things are going. Another thing we really like is our math club, and Zach is our math club president, so maybe he can tell you more about that later. We host regular events during the year. We have a big Pi Day celebration every year with scavenger hunts and pie and cupcakes, and we organize math talks, we do service projects. We started doing game nights a couple of years ago where faculty and students meet together. We bring our favorite board games and we just play, and I think soon we'll start having competitions, faculty against students, to see who wins. And last one I put on this list is not really a math club thing, but the Putnam competition is a competition we do every year. There's very competitive. Maybe Zach could tell you a little bit about that because he's the one who started it when he was a freshman. We have a chapter of Pi Mu Epsilon, that's the Math Honor Society. Actually, all of our panelists are in this picture somewhere if you look very carefully. So, and this was the picture last year, the induction ceremony. A few things of what our graduates do after graduation. Math majors is something that companies really like because somebody who went through a math major is very flexible, can think very hard about hard problems, and the type of thinking that you develop when you're a math major is very different than the type of thinking you develop in other majors. So it opens up your brain and it allows you to be very flexible and be able to do a lot of things. And it is pretty common for our majors to be double majors. And here are some examples that I listed here of recent graduates. So it's not uncommon to see a math major do pretty much anything. Like, you know, we have had people go to medical school with a math major, imagine that, and law school, whatever. So here are some examples of recent graduates with double majors: math, economics, and finance, or computer science, physics, chemistry, biology, engineering. And if you want some examples of the type of jobs that people have gotten, some people go to graduate school to get PhDs, which again are not necessarily math. We've had people that go to graduate school in math, people that go to graduate school in computer science and other fields, engineering. People went to medical school, people who are employed with banks or financial institutions, high school teachers from our math education program, college adjunct professor. We hire one of our own alum as a professor here, St. Vincent. People who go into actuarial science, statistical analysis, or into computer science fields, cybersecurity. And that's all I wanted to show you before the Q&A, so now I'm going to hand it back to Christina.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Arcara, for sharing that wonderful information and overview of the math department. And we're now going to do the Q&A session. So again, a reminder to our viewers that you are welcome to submit questions at any point, and you can use the Q&A button, which should be at the top or bottom of your screen, depending on the type of device that you're using. And as a reminder, Dr. Caro will be fielding questions, as well as our other 3 panelists. And again, they are Maggie Nelson and Anna Coletti, who are alumni, and Zach Schuler, who is a graduating senior this year. So I see we have a question coming in already from Alexis, and this one will go to Dr. Arcara. And Alexis would like to know, do you accept AP credits or college and high school credits? Dr. Arcara?
Sure. For AP credits, you have to take the AP test. So there is an AP Calculus AB exam and an AP Calculus BC exam. So if you can score at least a 4, we give you credit. So if you get a 4 on the Calculus AB exam, you get credit for Calculus 1. And if you can score a 4 on both of them, you get credit for Calculus 1 and 2. Or if you can manage to score a 5 on the Calculus BC test, then you can get credit for both Calculus 1 and 2. And for college and high school, we just do whatever the corresponding college does. So it depends on what college you took it with and what course it transfers in over there. So we just accept that like we would accept a transfer course from another college.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Dr. Arcara. That's great information. I see we have another question coming in right now from a student named Darnell. And Darnell would like to know, we're going to give this question to Zach. Darnell's question is, how has your degree prepared you for the workforce? And we're going to give that to Zach, who again is a graduating senior, also president of our math club. So Zach?
Yeah, it's a very good question. Ultimately, I'd probably go back to Dr. Arcara's point about flexibility. For example, my junior year, in the summer after my junior year, I got an internship in finance and then turned around and applied to a job in technology. So really being a math major just offers you a lot of flexibility because what you're studying is critical thinking rather than a specific set of knowledge and like you would study in a different field. Of course, off of that, one of the beautiful things about the math department at St. Vincent is that there's a lot of flexibility to study what you find interesting. Dr. Arcara mentioned the Putnam exam. How me and Dr. Arcara actually met was I was in the math tutoring room working on a blackboard for some competitive math problems, and he stopped by and helped me figure it out. And ever since then, we worked together to come up with a competitive math team for the Putnam competition. And that's just one of the many events we do through Math Club. And ultimately, Math Club's just a group of people who like to tackle problems. And so because of that, the group really just cultivates an interest in math. And it's, granted it's not big, but it's a bunch of very passionate people. And because of that, there's a lot of flexibility to tackle what you find interesting. And I think a lot of the times what you find interesting is what you really learn. And of course, if you take a deep interest in something, it's going to make an impact on you and you can carry it with you to the workforce.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Zach. And I think Zach makes a great point about St. Vincent in general. St. Vincent, and certainly the math department, but even in general, really supports students in their interests. And there is a lot of flexibility to pursue your passions at St. Vincent. Our next question is coming in from Rose, and this one will go to Dr. Arcara. And she would just like to know a little bit about your class sizes. Dr. Arcara?
Sure. Good question. Our class sizes, well, kind of depends on the class. So let's say you take a calculus class. We offer a lot of sections of calculus. There's actually different types. There's a calculus, applied calculus for like business and biology majors. And then there is a more analytical calculus for people in math and physics, engineering and chemistry and so on. And our class size for a calculus class will range anywhere between say 10, 15 up to 25, 30. So it kind of depends on how many sections there are. For example, this semester I have 2 Calculus 2 classes, one at 16 and one at 24. So I would say on average about 20 for a Calculus class. Could be lower, could be higher. And then when you get to upper level classes that are only required for math majors, then the numbers are a little bit smaller because there's only people who are math majors. The ones that are required of everybody will have, I don't know, anywhere between 7 or 8 to 15, 20. And then there are some elective ones that could even just have like 5 or 6.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. So as you can see, our classes are small. I mean, even the biggest numbers he gave were still pretty small. So I would kind of phrase that as they range from very small to small. So you get a lot of attention at St. Vincent. The next question is coming in from Frank, and this is going to be a perfect question for Anna. Frank wants to know how well St. Vincent prepares students for graduate school. And before I have Anna answer, I do want to mention that she is in a PhD program right now at the University of North Carolina. So Anna, could you shed a little light on how you felt St. Vincent prepared you for the program you're in? Anna?
Sure. Yeah. So now being in graduate school, I realized that I have a unique perspective that I gained from going to a liberal arts college. And I always knew I was interested in math, but at St. Vincent, I could explore other interests in other departments. And so that kind of showed me that, there's these awesome connections to math and the real world. And so that's why I decided to study applied math. and that's what my PhD program is here at UNC. And I feel like St. Vincent definitely prepared me academically. I feel like a strong student here, but it also helped, give me the confidence to pursue graduate school. And I gained a lot of skills working with other students and how to problem solve in groups, and also, being able to ask my professors here for help and have that one-on-one attention really made my confidence grow in math.
Fantastic. Sounds like you got a great foundation at St. Vincent to move on to your PhD. Very impressive. Wonderful. So now we have a question coming in from Sylvia, and I think we'll throw this one over to Dr. Arcara. She would like to know what support systems are in place if someone struggles academically. Dr. Arcara?
So first of all, the math tutoring room that I already mentioned. So anybody who's taking a math class and is struggling in it, the hours will be posted so they can go to the tutoring room and get help from the tutors. Our faculty is very helpful, so you will often see us having students in our offices that are struggling, and we help them out. So I will definitely start with the faculty member first and then go to the tutors second. And then, kind of depending on the problem, there's also a lot of places on campus that you can go for help. We have a lot of offices around campus that are very helpful to students depending on the type of problem that you have. But, so those are just some of the things. One of the nice things about St. Vincent is that being small and class sizes are small, it's usually like when you're struggling, you'll even have people reaching out to you to find out why you're struggling, what is going on. I mean, when a student's struggling in my class, I'll, send them an email, stop them after class. So it's not even you that has to go out of your way to look for help. People will usually find you and tell you, hey, look, come to office hours or go to tutoring. So it's a really nice thing.
Fantastic, fantastic. And, I can say working at St. Vincent, I'm always so impressed with our faculty, such as Dr. Arcara. Not only are they extremely accomplished and in their fields, but so caring about our students, and they really want you to succeed. And I think that comes through a lot. Our next question is coming in from Eric, and this will be a great question for Maggie. And Eric would like to know, he's interested in playing a sport, and he wants to know how that can work with balancing academics. And before I let Maggie answer, I want to let you know that she graduated with her math degree and an education minor, summa cum laude, while balancing a very impressive career in women's lacrosse. And she was one of the top offensive players, she is one of the top offensive players in Division III women's lacrosse history. And she finished her career as the NCAA Division III all-time leader in goals with 364. So obviously was very, very accomplished. So Maggie, can you tell us a little bit about how you balanced all of that?
Yeah, thank you for, that wonderful introduction. But so really, St. Vincent, and specifically in the math department, the professors are accommodating, and as you spoke to it earlier, they really care about their students. And so one of the main ways that I was able to balance the sport that I played and my academics was through the professors. I really felt like I could go to them if I needed something, or if I felt like I was falling behind. I really felt like I could go to them, and especially through the math department, they were able to support me on and off the field. And what really motivated me to do well in the classroom was the way that the professors really cared about me, not only academically, but also in sports. So I just think that overall, especially within the math department, they made it easier for me by being willing to meet me, halfway. So that was just a really great experience that I had. And even now, I've gone through, the graduate program here at St. Vincent the past 2 years. And as I'm starting to apply for jobs, I just, feel like very confident going into job interviews, because I know that I have the experience that I need to go into the job force. So it's been really great.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that great information and on your experience. That's fantastic. So our next question is coming in from Donna, and this would go to our student, and she would like to know, why did you initially choose St. Vincent? What made you pick St. Vincent? Zach?
Yeah, Honestly, I love St. Vincent for a whole variety of reasons, but what really sealed it for me was going into our library. And I mean, this is just something strange about myself, but whenever I went into the library and saw all the old books and got a chance to just see the history that was wrapped up in everything, it really just put it into perspective and kind of put St. Vincent almost on a pedestal of, a place where people have studied and worked for hundreds of years. And ultimately, it was from that moment that I thought I was going to go to St. Vincent. St. Vincent was actually the first college I looked at. And so after I had that feeling, I assumed I'd feel the same way about every place. But after visiting like 13 other schools or something like that, that feeling just never came up again. So here I am.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's very interesting, and we're certainly glad you made that choice. Now Mike has a question that I think we'll have Anna answer. He wants to know a little bit about other opportunities at St. Vincent in addition to academics. We've already heard some about athletics, but do you want to share a little bit maybe what else you might have been involved with other than those two areas, Anna?
Yeah, so I, through St. Vincent, was a part of the math club, and Zach and I had fun. He was our president at the time, or still is, but, and I love the community at St. Vincent, and I was an out-of-state student, and it was great to feel so comfortable in a community, and I found friends really quickly, and we explored the surrounding areas and would hike a lot and have a lot of fun. And I was able, through this liberal arts program, to be able to look at different departments, and I got involved in the sociology department, and I was part of their clubs, and I was able to pursue a bunch of different interests within the St. Vincent community.
Wonderful. Sounds like a lot of great opportunities. Thank you, Anna. And now Ellen has a question that we can throw over to Maggie. And Ellen, you've kind of touched on this, Maggie, but if you want to elaborate a little bit, but she wants to know, what did you like the most about St. Vincent? If you could kind of pick one thing.
Wow, that's a loaded question. I don't know if I can take one thing, but kind of speaking to what Zach was talking about and how he knew like kind of the moment when, he wanted to come. And I feel like so many students just have that, that feeling when they first come to St. Vincent, and they know like a sense of kind of peace with, the decision that they've made, even though it is a really big one. And speaking to what Anna said, the sense of community that I found at St. Vincent is unlike anything that, I've ever known. And it's drawn me just in so many ways to meet people that I wouldn't normally have met, and which is an amazing thing. So I think definitely just honing in on the sense of community and really feeling like I'm at home, even though, like Anna said, she's out of state, and like so many other students feel just their first step into kind of, their own way. So it's definitely a great place for students to feel like home, but also grow in themselves.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And as we often say, once a Bearcat, always a Bearcat, right?
Absolutely.
So now Mike has a question that will be for Dr. Arcara. And Mike would like to know a little bit about opportunities to work with the math faculty outside of class. Dr. Arcara?
Sure. Great question. Wow. There's a lot of opportunities. And I think part of it is really the student and what their interests are. So as I mentioned before, all of our full-time faculty are very young, very energetic. They love to work with students. And we try to organize things, but at the end of the day, it's really about what the student wants to do. So for example, Zach came in as a freshman and he wanted to do the Putnam competition. So we put together a Putnam team, and then a year he wanted to do a modeling competition. So Dr. White looked into it and we did the modeling competition. We've had students that have special interest in some areas that we don't offer a class in. So then we will do an independent study with them. I've done several independent studies over the years. So we're very accommodating and we're very open. We've had students do, research with faculty member in graph theory. And but it kind of depends on what the student interest is. So usually you will start out, you take a few classes with a professor, you kind of click, you get to know them, and then you will start talking, and then you kind of find out each other's interest, and then you just go from there. But it's really a lot of opportunities, and it's kind of wide open, really.
Thank you so much, Dr. Arcara. And it looks like we've answered all the questions coming in, but we really want to thank our panelists, Dr. Arcara, Maggie Nelson, Anna Coletti, and Zach Schuler so much for sharing your expertise and your insight. As you can see, our math department is thriving and there are a lot of wonderful and exciting opportunities available. If you think of questions later, you are very welcome to get in touch. You can contact us in the admission office and we can put you in touch with Dr. Arcara or other math representatives. We're happy to do that for you. If you are a senior listening to this and you've been accepted and haven't made that final decision, it's not too late, and we encourage you to choose St. Vincent and commit. You can go online to pay your deposit at www.stvincent.edu/deposit. We thank you again so very much for joining us and have a great day.